It is Mailbag Monday. Did your question make it onto this week's mailbag? You're gonna have to watch to find out. I'm talking about the X-Men, I'm talking about AIM, I'm talking about the Fantastic Four. But before we get into all that, I do want to mention the sponsor of this video, ClanHQ. What is ClanHQ, you may be asking yourself? Well, it is a new, fully featured messaging app, and it is free on the Android and iOS stores right now. It's got all kind of features that can integrate with over 75 different games, including Marvel Strike Force. You got a full feature chat with stickers, GIFs, photos, badges, and more. And you got a notification setting so that you can tag people and see everyone that reads your messages. Good stuff, guys. You can even store your game data so that anyone that you want to check out your entire roster, they can do that with just a click of a button. And that's really valuable if you're an alliance leader that's looking for new members, or if you are someone that is looking for a new alliance. You guys can find a perfect match with just a few clicks of these buttons in this app, guys. And because all your game data is integrated with the app, you can show up things like your total collection power and your strongest team power to anyone that wants. And it is right there in the app itself. So check out the link in the description, guys, and you can learn more about ClanHQ. Really good app. They're adding new features all the time. So make sure you guys check out ClanHQ. You could be one of the very first users to check it out. And if you are ready to get your questions answered, let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hey, what's up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. It is Monday, and that means that it's time for me to go to the mailbag on the Discord server to answer your questions. Yes, I'm thinking of doing this as a weekly segment. So all of you that are not on the Discord, make sure you get on there. You can leave your questions in the mailbag channel. That's where these questions are coming directly from. The link is in the description. There's also a link for BlueStacks and Patreon if you want to support the channel that way. BlueStacks is totally free and it lets you play on your PC for free as well. And there's also a link for Valley merch, so check those out. But let's get to the questions, guys. Did your question make this list? We'll have to see. But if it did not, make sure you go to the Discord server and leave your question for next week's mailbag section. But let's get to this. Question number one, ValleyFlyin, if you had to pick one, is there any Sinister Six character besides Green Goblin that you would like to see be a great fit into a Spider-Verse team? Why or why not? Who would you replace the character with? All right, so here we are looking at the Spider-Verse characters. And if I had to pick one from the Sinister Six to put into the Spider-Verse, it would probably be Mysterio because of his extra focus. They do a lot with the extra focus, with all their bleeds and all their debuffs that they're applying on the enemies. And if I had to replace one, I think it might be Spider-Man. I know that's gonna be controversial. A lot of people aren't gonna like that. But if we look at what each guy offers, Green Goblin brings that dispel. He brings some damage. Spider-Man adds a lot with his stun, with his defense down on turn one. Those are very, very scary, but I think they could be replaced. Venom, he does some ability blocks. He takes off some buffs as well. He has some healing. He has this healing from his passive. Same thing with Carnage. And then Miles just has that disruptor that he plays on the enemies. I think all of them you need. So if I were to place one, it would probably be Spider-Man. So my team of Spider-Verse would be Green Goblin, Mysterio, Venom, Miles, and Carnage. That would be my team off the top of my head. But of course, let me know what you guys think. What would be the best Spider-Verse team with one Sinister Six member? All right, next question, ValleyFlyin, with AIM pretty much being the next buff team. Not sure about that. I'm not sure about if they are the next buff team. I know Cerebro hinted at AIM getting a rework in Casino's video, but he never said that they are the next buff team. And he never confirmed that they are the team that's getting a buff. But anyway, what do you think they would need to be good? Would you want them to be a specialty team for maybe War, Raid, Arena, or just another Blitz team? Definitely want them at least usable in Blitz. I think every team should be at least usable in Blitz if you build them up to a certain level. So that's something I think they need. Would like to see them a little more viable in War though. I've seen a lot of them on defense in War just because they don't really have a place. So would like to see them have some use in War. What do I think they need to be good? Definitely need a rework on Scientist Supreme. I think what really what they have in common is they put a lot of debuffs on themselves, and Scientist Supreme is supposed to be flipping those and making them into some buffs to help to take out the enemy team. Right now, it just doesn't work how it's supposed to. The cooldown on her Scientist Supreme ultimate is just way too long, so Scientist Supreme definitely needs some help there to make aim better. But maybe if some of the other characters had something in their passives to help make them good, give them a little more synergy and give it a little more help with flipping these debuffs to be buffs, I think that would help them to be a decent team. Next question, will you be releasing a new free-to-play guide since a lot has changed since the last one? Yes, I definitely will. The timing on that, not sure though. Always wanted to do something around August, so now that August is here, definitely want to start to put more thought into it and start to get that out sooner than later, hopefully. But definitely targeting this month for that. All right, next question. Do you think Wakandans will get a rework at some point, and how would you fix them to be the amazing raid team that we were promised? So I don't know if they're going to be an amazing raid team with these fixes, but some fixes that I would put on them right now is Okoye. She needs a little more focus, and not just from level 7 of her basic. She needs that a lot sooner on her basic, or she needs something in her passive to get that focus up for her, because right now the only real way to get some debuffs or some buffs off the enemy team is with Okoye. So she needs some help in that department with that. She needs that to happen more reliably, or someone else to start to do that with one of their skills. Black Panther is in an okay place. He could use a little more damage to get his passive going a little bit sooner. Killmonger, I think, is in a good place as well. M'Baku is very strong in the right situations. I think his ultimate, the wording on that needs to be changed a little bit, so that when you get a kill, you can keep going and keep killing enemies. But I think the main thing that he needs is a 2-turn taunt instead of just a 1-turn taunt. 2-turn taunt on a 3-turn cooldown would be very, very strong. And Shuri, very, very strong character. I think her ultimate needs to be changed just a little bit. Right now, she will heal somebody and then she'll remove one of the debuffs from the Wakandans. If she did that in reverse order, so remove something, say heal block from them, maybe, you know, having the debuff removed first and then the healing happen, I think that would do a lot for her. But that is some minor changes that I think I would make. Nothing too revolutionary there, because it's been mentioned by a lot of different people. But just those changes I think would make him a very good squad. And then I think they could stop there, see how they do it raids, see if they need more rebalancing. But I think that just that alone would help them immensely. Our next question, for newer players, which legendary other than Star-Lord would you recommend prioritizing? Is it worth skipping Fury, Iron Man, Magneto, and farming straight to Phoenix? I would say probably not. And the main reason for that is Phoenix, yes, she's a very good character, but Colossus, Psylocke, no way to get more shards right now for them. So you're kind of stuck with them where they are right now. They're probably going to be farmable later on, but as of right now, I would say focus, maybe go Fury after Star-Lord, or maybe go straight to Magneto. When I did the free-to-play guide way back in the day, Magneto was still a great character, but you couldn't farm the rest of the Brotherhood characters. The rest of the Brotherhood are farmable now, so I might go Magneto, and then Fury, then Iron Man, and then once Colossus and Psylocke get farmable, if you already have them at good star levels, then great, build up your Phoenix. If you don't, you could probably wait on Phoenix. As good of a character as she is, unless you're just using them for a straight hybrid arena offense team. Our next question, just unlocked Ultron today. In your opinion, what is the best team for Arena, Raid, War, Defense, and Blitz? I'm having a hard time compiling Ultron teams for all the games unlocked, so let's go back into the game for that one. And this is the team that I'm using right now on Arena Offense, so I think this is the best team. Falcon, Ultron, Captain Marvel, Phoenix, and Colossus. As for Blitz, this is the team that I'm using in Blitz right now. Let's go to my save squads real quick. And as far as Blitz, this is going to be very similar to my War Defense as well. And Ultron, Shield Trooper right here, Drax, Mantis, and Night Nurse. Basically all my toons that are abandoned and don't really have homes, they go with Ultron because Ultron can win. And then for raids, it's this team right here, except instead of Thanos' place, you're putting Ultron right here. So Star-Lord, Rocket, Ultron, Minerva, Groot. Some people like a little different placement, but that's the best team that I think for raids. Next question, what is the best team to take to Gear 13 to try for Ultron? I answered this last week, but this question got a thumbs up, so I'll answer it again. In my opinion, the team that I used is the best. There are probably people that like other teams out there, but I know which team that I tried and I know that they're good. So Rocket, Star-Lord, Minerva. Minerva and Star-Lord probably the two most important. I also had Fury and I had Groot. That's the team I used. They got me through the Fear of the Darkness pretty quickly. Didn't have to repeat too many nodes. There's a couple, and then that last node had to repeat a lot, but that one, you're one-shotting a lot of the nodes. Maybe not everything, but that team worked very well for me. All right, next question, ValleyFlyin. Now that we have X-Men and others, do we have a new ideal top arena offense and defense, excluding Ultron? Top 2 to 3 would also be great. This one's gonna vary a lot depending on your shard. I know in my shard, Ultron is on every single defensive team, every single offensive team. So let's get into the game real quick and we'll take a look at some options that we got. Phoenix made a lot of the teams obsolete. So I'll tell you who I used before Phoenix and Ultron. And if you don't have a lot of Phoenix in your arena shard, this team will probably give you a lot of wins as well. But Magneto, Juggernaut, Pyro, Fury, and Minerva. That was the team that I ran on offense before Ultron and Phoenix. Now with them, it's going to be a little tricky. And I don't know if there's going to be one team without Ultron that really does well all the time consistently in arena. But Phoenix, Colossus, Falcon, you could put Vision in there. Or maybe you could go Phoenix, Colossus, Vision, and Star-Lord and Rocket. That team can get a little opening boost, and then Captain Marvel's thrown in there somewhere. A lot of your arena offense, if you don't have Ultron, is going to be changing up depending on who you see on defense. So there's no really one answer that I can give you, but Phoenix is going to definitely be in the mix. So is Colossus. If you're not facing Phoenix on defense, you could still use that old school Magneto Juggernaut combo and get away with it. Same thing with Pyro. But if you have Phoenix, you're going to have to make some adjustments. So I would try some of those characters and see what combination works for the defense that you're actually fighting. Next question, have you got 6 or 7 red stars on any of your characters? No 7-star reds, but I do have 6 stars on Kingpin, which doesn't really make too much of a difference. Hand Sentry, which is actually pretty good, but I don't use him a lot. And Ravager Stitcher. Our next question, now that the X-Men are together, what's a good team to put Cable and Deadpool on so they aren't wasted? I know Deadpool can go into hero brawlers, but I like to keep them together. I'd like to keep them together as well, but they haven't been together on a team of mine for a long time now. Deadpool is right where you put him on that hero brawlers team. Cable, he doesn't really have a home on my squad. I used to use him on a hand team, and he was a 5th member of a hand squad, and he worked pretty good. But if you really had to put them together, I mean, I think they're best served separately. If you had to put them together, I would try Cable, Deadpool, because they have that synergy. Ant-Man and Wasp, because they have that synergy and they're kind of hard to find a home for as well. So you got 2 synergized characters, and you're gonna need a tank. Captain America probably is already used on Avengers teams, so I would probably try Merc Riot Guard on that team, and that would give them a little bit of synergy with that Merc tag and Deadpool. I think that team would work okay for Blitz. Definitely not going to be competing in any meta teams though. All right, next question. Is there a good substitute on the Wakandan team if you haven't unlocked a legendary Shuri? Yes, there is, and there's actually, the answers are right in the chat, right before I even respond. Merc Riot Guard, that's how I used to use in that Wakandan team before I had Shuri. And Hand Sorcerer is actually a very good pick as well. The defensive ups, the heal like Shuri does. I think both of them are very good additions to that team if you don't have Shuri. Obviously, once you get Shuri, put these guys on a different team. But for now, if you really want to make that Wakandans work, these are some good alternates. So good answers in the chat already. I don't even have to answer this one. Next question, ValleyFlyin. Can you share how you farm shards of tunes that only have 1 node? Do you refresh the node daily? Super underwhelming to find 3 days in a row with 0 shards gained from the daily farm. So I actually ran into this once Okoye became farmable. It was probably about a week that I was farming her before I got my first shards to get her. And I know how frustrating it is. And normally I don't refresh nodes unless there's like an event coming up or I really need that character's up stars for that characters to get them up for a certain team. So normally I'm not refreshing those, and I just kind of go at it at a slow pace. Next question, can you give any advice on 3-starring Mystic 3/6 to farm Loki? What do we need to bring? And the next question is actually very similar as well. What is the best team to go through the Mystic campaign generally? All right, so looking in game, generally what I do when I'm doing a campaign or one of these campaign events, I just take in my strongest tunes I have for that requirement and see if I could just overpower it. Some of these things are easier. For Mystic, it's a little tougher because yeah, there's some tough characters in there, but if you just were looking for a team that synergizes well, you got Loki, Mordo, Doctor Strange, and Scarlet Witch. Those 4 synergize very well with each other. Their turn orders line up very well. If you needed some kind of tankiness in there to give them a little more survivability because they don't have a lot of damage, you got Thanos in there, and you got Hand Century in there that could protect the team a little longer. Yondu is also one of those jack of all trades, master of none, brings a lot to the team, but doesn't really bring anything super outstanding. And then Black Panther, I found that he worked very well on some of these, on that last node to unlock Vision. And with his slow on his basic, I think that really helped. But I would try that squad, see how you're doing, and then start to incorporate some of your more stronger tunes and see if that helps as well. Next question, which Fantastic Four member do you predict to be the best? Well, Invisible Woman, she is a legendary character, so obviously I would have to pick her. Our next question, ValleyFlyin, can you name one character that needs a rework? And someone followed this up with not Thor. So another obvious answer would be Hulk. He did get a rework, but his rework needs to go further. So excluding those 2 real obvious choices, I would have to go with another obvious choice and pick Nobu. His ultimate is so bad. He's not that great, and a hand would really be a lot better if Nobu was a lot better leader for that team and offered a little more than what he does, especially with his ultimate. Putting those counterattacks on doesn't really do a lot. So I would go with Nobu for this question. All right, next question. I'm not going to read this one word for word, but basically it's asking what team should newer players focus on after the Defenders? Should you do something like Guardians, or would you base it more into schedule? I would probably go based on what you need and the better characters. So after you got your Defenders, get your Guardians up to 5 stars. You can unlock that full Guardians team. You don't have to focus on any Ravagers anymore. Get them up to 5 stars. Once they're there, then you can start focusing on some other characters. I wouldn't base it on a schedule because we don't know what order these events are going to come back in. We don't know when they're going to come back in. We know it maybe a week or 2 in advance. We know Brotherhood is coming back later this week, but other than that, we don't know anything as far as schedule. So just base it on your roster, and once you've got a team so that could at least unlock a character, I would move on and start focusing on other teams so you could start widening your roster and then work on upping it for different things like the raids and arenas. Our next question is Ultima 7 making a return soon? Gladly take a weekly raid if the rewards stay the same, or equivalent of running 5 to 6 times a week if we got cumulative rewards. Word is that it should be returning soon. When they said the original blog post, they said it would be a limited time raid with some increased rewards. So when Ultima 7 does come back, I wouldn't expect it to be for the same rewards. I would expect less rewards for that. But they said it would be sometime after it was a limited time raid and then we added. So maybe this update, I think we'll know more tomorrow when we see some of the release notes. If there's nothing in the release notes, it would probably be the subsequent update after the one that should be dropping tomorrow. Next question, how would you fix the Avengers team to make them viable once again? All right, so here they are, and most of these characters already have teams. Power Armor, he's on S.H.I.E.L.D. Captain America is still Avenger. Black Widow is still Avenger. Power Armor, Wakandans. Hawkeye probably still works on that team. Thor probably still works on the team, and you're gonna put Hulk on that team as well. Scarlet Witch is real good on a Mystic Controllers team, and Ant-Man goes well with Wasp. I use them on an Avengers team, but if you're talking pure Avengers, we would go Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, and Hulk. Now, what is this team missing? They need more dispels. They get a little bit with Black Panther special or Black Widow special if you put the T4 mats into it, but they don't really have a lot of other dispels on their team. So a lot of the meta teams right now are running that. So they need someone to get these blinds off from Magneto. They need someone that clears the buffs off of S.H.I.E.L.D. a little more reliably. They need some way to get some of these debuffs off that Psylocke would put on if you're facing an Avengers team or an X-Men team. but they really don't have a lot of big damage up front, and that's what I think they're missing. So Hawkeye's big move comes on turn 3. Thor comes really late as well. Same with the Hulk. So they would need to have a lot more damage right up front, right on turn 1, and they would need some way to clear more of the debuffs. And I think that would make them a much, much better team. All right, next question. If AIM is needed for Sue Storm, who have the 6 guests left out? So again, not sure if they're gonna be needed. I know there was hints of AIM getting a rework, but I'm not sure if that was in relation to Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. So if we have to leave out one, if we had to pick, I would go with these top 5 right here and leave out AIM Infector. I like his kit the least, but someone mentioned in chat as well, probably Scientist Supreme would not be required for a legendary character, so it might just be the minions. So it might be Scientist Supreme that you're leaving out. If we have a choice though, I'd probably leave out Infector. I think he's the worst of the bunch. Our last question, when are you and Casino gonna have a big bro smash session in the gym? I have no idea. We live in different cities. I'm in Texas, he's in the Bay Area, and I don't know when we're gonna be in the same city. So it'd have to be then, and I'm not sure when that is, but I think if we definitely got in the same city, we'd definitely find a way to meet up and probably get to the gym together, because I like doing that, and I know he goes to the gym a lot as well. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys like this video. I apologize if your question did not get it onto this video. Maybe next week. Make sure you guys check out the Discord server to get your question potentially featured on the next Mailbag Monday. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, subscribe to the channel, smash on that like button, join the notification squad, hit that bell, guys, because that helps out the channel, and share this with all your friends. Check out some of my other videos, some of the links down below, and I will see you next time. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin, out!